The price of a life. Kari stood at the edge of the market, her eyes fixed on the glowing ship lights in the sky. She held a small cloth bundle close to her chest. Inside was her life, her child, barely breathing. The alien world around her buzzed, with noise, shouting, trading, footsteps echoing in steel corridors. The slave market was full today. Different species stood in cages. Some screamed, some cried, some just stared at nothing. Kari had never imagined she would come here. She was a mother, a healer, a teacher on her quiet planet of Lyra. Her people believed in peace. They believed in hope. But today, all of that felt like a joke. Her son, Lyr, had fallen sick 3 cycles ago. A rare disease. Her people had no cure. The healer said only the humans had the medicine. But humans did not give anything for free. Kari had made a choice. She kissed Lyr's forehead. His skin was pale blue, eyes closed, breathing weak. "You will live," she whispered. "Even if I don't." She handed the bundle to a trusted friend, another Lyran named Doma. "Take him home. The medicine will come." Doma looked at her wide with fear. "You don't have to do this." "I do," Kari said. "He's my child." And with that, she turned and walked toward the auction stage. The auction was brutal. A tall creature with 6 arms barked numbers. Bidders shouted. Beings in chains were pulled forward. "Examine like meat." Kari stepped forward. Her voice was quiet, but firm. "I am for sale." The auctioneer looked surprised. "Voluntary slave. Rare. I need credits. Human credits. Enough to buy medicine from Earth's Trade Council. Species? Lyran. Healthy. Educated. No history of violence. Pretty too." The auctioneer smiled. Kari said nothing. She was given a number and told to wait in a cage. It was cold, dark. She sat in silence, thinking of Lyr. Every breath he took was a countdown. She had to hurry. Then, the human arrived. He walked differently from the others, calm, quiet, not hungry like the other buyers. His name was Cal. No armor, no weapons, just simple clothes, a datapad in his hand, and tired eyes. Kari watched him from behind the bars. Something about him felt strange. When her turn came, she stepped onto the platform. Lyran female. The auctioneer shouted. Healthy, obedient, skilled in healing and education. Starting at 1,000 credits. Cal looked up. Their eyes met. Something passed between them. Not magic. Not fate. Just attention. Like he actually saw her. 2,000, Cal said. Others looked surprised. The auctioneer blinked. Very well. 2,000 going once, going twice, sold. Kari didn't speak on the trip to his ship. She waited for chains, commands, punishment. But Cal simply walked ahead and said, "Follow me." The ship was clean, small, no cages, no guards. He led her to a small room. "This is your space. There are clothes in the drawer, food in the unit." Kari stared. "You're not going to lock me in?" "No, you're not going to." She couldn't say the word. "No, why did you buy me?" Cal looked at her. His voice was quiet. "Because you looked like you didn't belong there." Kari didn't know what to say. That night, she didn't sleep. She sat on the soft bed, staring at the door. It wasn't locked. She checked twice. What kind of human was this? What game was he playing? In the morning, he offered her tea. She didn't drink it. He didn't force her. Later, he spoke gently. "You're here for something, not just slavery. Tell me." She hesitated, then said the truth. "My child is dying. I needed credits to buy human medicine. I sold myself." Cal didn't react like she expected. No mocking, no cold stare. He just nodded. "What's the name of the medicine?" he asked. She told him. "I'll find it," he said. "Why?" she asked. He didn't answer right away. Then he said something strange. "Because you're not a slave. Not to me." That night, Kari cried. Not because she was scared, but because she felt something she hadn't felt in weeks. Hope. The monster with gentle eyes. Kari sat at the edge of the bed, staring at the corner of the room like it might attack her. She had not been chained. She had not been hurt. She had not even been told what to do. And that was the most terrifying part. This was a human ship. She had sold herself into slavery, so why did it feel safe? The room was warm. The bed was soft. A small lamp glowed gently in the corner. There was a closet filled with clean clothes. A soft hum of engines vibrated through the walls. And the door still unlocked. Kari had tested it 5 times. She had memorized every inch of the hallway outside, every vent, every turn, every possible escape route. But she didn't run, not yet. Because the human Cal was confusing. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't loud. He wasn't even curious. He spoke little, always calm. He offered her food and space. Not once had he touched her. And his eyes didn't burn with power or hunger. They looked tired, like they'd seen too much. The next morning, he spoke to her again. I made coffee, he said softly. You might not like it. Kari looked up. He was standing in the doorway, holding 2 cups. She said nothing. She didn't move. He set both cups on the table. Just in case you change your mind. Then he left. She stared at the cups for an hour. She didn't drink. Not yet. Later, she walked around the ship. Every time she passed a security panel, she waited for an alarm, a drone, a weapon, but nothing happened. The ship didn't treat her like a prisoner. In the back room, she found a garden, a real garden, on a human ship. Rows of glowing plants grew in glass beds, purple vines, golden berries, tiny blue trees with transparent leaves. She reached toward one, then stopped. Don't worry, Cal's voice came from behind her. They don't bite. Kari spun around, heart racing. Cal stood there with his arms crossed, leaning on the door. You grow plants? She asked. Her voice cracked from disuse. He nodded. I like watching things grow. That's unusual for a human? He smiled. Yeah, I've been told that. They sat in silence for a while. Then she asked the question that had been burning inside her since day 1. Why did you buy me? He looked at her for a long time before answering. You looked desperate, not broken, not angry, just like you still had something to fight for. Kari blinked. She didn't expect that. And you don't want anything from me? She asked carefully. Oh, Cal said simply. You're not property. She stared at him. That's not how this works. She whispered. I don't care how it works, he replied, and then he turned and walked away again. That night, Kari dreamed of fire. Her planet, Lyra, burned in her mind. Screams, sirens, human soldiers, guns, explosions. She woke up gasping, sweat poured down her back. She ran to the sink and splashed her face with cold water. In the mirror, she didn't see herself anymore. She saw a stranger. She saw a survivor. The next day, she tried something bold. She walked into the ship's command room. Cal looked up from the console. He didn't look surprised. Want to fly the ship? He asked. What? He shrugged. You're smart. I can teach you. Why are you doing this? She snapped. Cal stood slowly and looked her straight in the eye. Because I don't believe kindness should be rare. Kari laughed. Not a happy laugh, a bitter one. Kindness? From a human? Your people burned cities. You bombed moons. You eat animals alive. Cal didn't argue. He simply said, some humans are monsters. Some just want peace. Same as your people, I'm guessing. That silenced her. Later, she sat alone in her room, watching the stars outside the window. What was this place? What was he? A human who didn't hurt her, who didn't control her, who didn't ask for anything. Was he lying? Waiting? Was this all part of some slow game? She didn't know, but deep inside, something shifted, just a little. She took the coffee cup still sitting by the door from the morning before, and she drank it. It was terrible, but she drank the whole thing. The next day changed everything. She found a hidden panel in the hallway. Behind it was a small storage room. Inside, an old datapad, cracked, dusty, but working. Kari tapped it open. It was a journal, Cal's journal. She hesitated. Then read a single entry. Day 231, another rescue. She's Lyran, sold herself for medicine. Of course, they always think they have no choice. I'll give her time. Let her see. No chains, just truth. Kari's hands trembled. How many had there been? How many had he rescued? And why? The ship jolted suddenly, lights flickered. Kari dropped the datapad and rushed to the command room. Cal was at the controls, focused. What's happening? She asked. Trouble, he said. Pirate ship, following us. Why? You have no cargo. Cal didn't answer. He reached for a locked box under the console. Kari stared at it. What's in there? She asked. He glanced at her. Then he said, quietly, the reason they hunt me. Whispers of freedom. Kari stood frozen. The words still echoed in her ears. The reason they hunt me. Cal didn't look at her. His hands danced over glowing controls, steering the ship through a narrow asteroid field. Outside, the stars flickered like nervous eyes. Behind them, a pirate ship chased them fast, sharp, and hungry. What's in the box? Kari asked again, louder this time. Cal didn't answer. The ship shook. A warning siren howled. Shields down to 60. Cal, she shouted. He finally turned. Later. Right now. I need you to do something. What? Trust me. Kari stared at him. Her fists clenched. She wanted to scream, to run, to rip open that box and find the truth. But instead, she nodded. For now, they escaped the pirates by hiding inside an asteroid cave. Cal shut down all systems. Silent, running. Kari sat in the garden room, knees to her chest. She stared at a glowing fruit that pulsed like a heartbeat. Nothing made sense. The human was a liar, a good one. Calm voice, soft eyes, gentle hands. But now, she knew. Something was hiding on this ship, and it was dangerous enough for pirates to chase it through space. That night, she waited until Cal was asleep. The ship was dark, silent. The only sound was the low hum of power in the walls. She crept through the hallways like a shadow. Bare feet, quiet breath. She returned to the command room. The locked box was still there. She touched it. It didn't open. Of course not. She stepped back and looked around. Then she saw it above the console. A small hidden panel, slightly loose. She pulled it open. Inside was a manual override key. Humans, always hiding the key near the lock. She used the key. Click. The box hissed open. And inside was a single metal capsule. Smooth, small, but she knew exactly what it was. Human medical nanites. Not just medicine, a cure, the same one her child needed. Her hands shook. She touched the capsule. It was warm. She could take it, right now. Use it. Save her child. She stepped back, breathing fast. But then she saw something else. A small, folded cloth. She unwrapped it slowly. Inside was a photo. Kel, standing with a woman and a little girl. The girl was smiling, holding a glowing fruit, one of the same ones growing in the ship's garden. Behind Earth. Kari stared at it. Her chest felt tight. There was no writing, no explanation, but somehow, she knew. They were gone. The next morning, Cal found her sitting at the table, the capsule in front of her. She didn't look at him. I could have taken it, she said. I opened the box. I know, he replied, calm. You left the override key on purpose. I wanted to see what you do. She finally looked up. Why do you have it? That cure? It's illegal to carry it off Earth. Cal sat down across from her. He looked tired again, older somehow. Daughter needed it once, he said softly. By the time I got it, it was too late. Silence fell between them, heavy. Still, I've carried it ever since, Cal continued. Maybe hoping I'd meet someone who could use it. Maybe punishing myself. Kari whispered. You could sell it, make millions. I don't want money. What do you want? Cal looked at her. Peace, purpose, something good to hold onto. Later that day, Cal went to check engine repairs. Kari stood in the hallway. The door was open. The planet Lyra was only a few jumps away. She could take the capsule, steal a pod, and go home. No more confusion. No more risk. Just her child alive. She stood there for a long time. Then she made her choice. That night, she cooked. It was the first time she had touched the kitchen controls. She made a stew using the garden herbs, a Lyran recipe. When Cal walked in, he froze. You cooked? She nodded. He sat slowly. Why? Kari placed a bowl in front of him. Because I'm not running, she said. Cal blinked. You could've. I thought about it, she admitted. But I think I want to see what happens if I stay. He said nothing. Just picked up his spoon. They ate in silence. Not the silence of fear. The silence of something beginning. Later that night, Kari sat alone in the garden, holding the capsule in her hands. She had it now. The cure. But something else had started growing inside her. Not sickness. Not fear. Something dangerous. Hope. The next morning, the alarm blared. Kari ran to the command room. Cal was already there, frowning at the screen. Another pirate? She asked. He shook his head. No. Worse. He turned the monitor toward her. A glowing symbol flashed on the screen. Earth Federation Military Authority. They know I have the capsule, he said quietly. They're coming. Kari's heart dropped. If they catch us, they'll arrest me, Cal said. Take the capsule. Leave you with nothing. Kari stood tall. Then we run. Cal looked at her, surprised. You're not just staying now, he said. She nodded. I'm fine. A strange kindness. Kari didn't believe in love. Not anymore. Not after what the galaxy had done to her. Not after what she had done to herself. But here she was, cooking stew in a stolen human ship, helping a man she barely knew run from the galaxy's deadliest authority. And worse, she was starting to care. The Earth Federation patrol had vanished. 2 jumps ago, Cal said they must have lost the trail. But Kari had seen the tension in his eyes, the grip on the controls, the way he scanned every blip on the radar like it might explode. He was scared, but not for himself, for her, and that made her chest ache in a way she didn't like. They landed on a quiet moon, a safe zone. For now, Cal let Kari stretch her legs. He gave her a communicator, a cloak, and a pouch of local currency. You're free to go, he said. You've got the medicine. You don't owe me anything. Kari stared at him. That word again, free. She didn't know what it meant anymore. She walked the streets for hours. Aliens of all kinds bustled around her. Markets hung. Street performers danced with floating lights. A child ran past her, laughing, holding a glowing candy stick. Kari touched her chest. She imagined Lear doing the same. Laughing, breathing, alive. She had the cure now. She could return. End the story. But something kept pulling her back. Not guilt. Not duty. Something else. Something like gravity. She returned to the ship. Cal was surprised. You came back. I didn't like the food out there, she lied. He smirked. Sure. That night, he showed her how to fly the ship. She wasn't great at it. Her hands were too careful. Her instincts too soft. But when the stars shifted as she moved the ship, she felt powerful. She laughed. Cal watched her, smiling. You laugh like it hurts, he said. It does, she replied. It's been a long time. They began to talk more. Thing too personal at first. Favorite colors. Worst foods. Stupid things they'd seen on alien planets. Then the stories got deeper. She told him about Lyra, the rivers that glowed in the dark, the way her people sang to trees. He told her about Earth, the oceans, the war, the plague that took his wife and daughter. Kari listened in silence. I blamed myself, Cal said once. I had access. I had connections. But I was too late. She didn't try to comfort him. She just sat there, present, unmoving. Sometimes, that's all someone needs. One evening, they danced. It was an accident. Music played in the ship's lounge. A soft, slow tune from Earth. Kari tilted her head. What's this? It's jazz, Cal said. Old Earth music. My wife liked it. It's strange. It sounds sad and happy at the same time. That's jazz. She stood. Show me. He hesitated. Then he took her hand. They moved awkwardly. Her feet stepped on his more than once. They laughed. She blushed. He smiled, and for a moment, the galaxy was quiet. 2 broken souls, floating in their own orbit. Later, she lay awake in her room. The medicine capsule sat on the table. Her communicator buzzed. She picked it up. A message from Doma. Lear is stable but weak. We don't know how much time we have. Kari closed her eyes. How could the universe be so cruel? Just when she found a reason to breathe again, she had to let it go. The next day, she told Cal, "I have to leave." He nodded. "I'll take you," she said. "You've done enough. They're still looking for you." He stepped forward. "I'm not letting you fly alone across 3 star systems with bounty hunters on your tail. I'm not. Yours to protect," she said firmly. He looked down in a long silence. Then she said softly, "But I wouldn't mind if you came anyway." They set course for Lyra. But something wasn't right. Kari could feel it in the ship. In the stars. In Cal's silence. "Talk to me," she said. He didn't answer. "Cal." He finally looked at her. "There's something you should know," he said. Kari's stomach dropped. He pulled up a transmission on the screen. A recorded message. "Earth Federation seal. Dated 2 days ago. Target located. Human fugitive Cal Reiner. Charges: possession of restricted medical technology, aiding known alien fugitives, illegal harboring, violation of Interspecies Trade Act. Reward: 2 million credits. Status: kill or capture." Kari stared at it. "Why didn't you tell me?" She whispered. "Because you'd leave," he said. "I should. I know." She turned away. Tears pricked her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. She clenched her jaw, took a deep breath, then said, "Well, now we're in it together." Cal stared at her. "You're not afraid?" "I'm terrified," she said. "But I've learned something out here. In your ship, flying your stupid broken chair, and eating your awful coffee." She turned to him. "You're not a monster. You're a strange, sad, lonely man who chose to help someone when no one else would." He smiled weakly. "That's romantic." "No," she said. "That's foolish and brave. And the only reason I'm still alive." The final jump to Lyra began. Kari clutched the capsule in her hand like a lifeline. The ship shook. The alarm screamed. Another transmission blinked on the screen. "Incoming military vessel. Prepare for inspection." Cal looked at her. "Kari, if they board us, they won't." He blinked. "Why not?" She stepped into the command chair. "Because I'm going to fly us through a war zone." He stared. "You barely passed the training program," she smirked. "Yeah, but I had a good teacher. The cure and the chains. The jump was rough." Kari's fingers gripped the flight controls tighter than she ever had before. The ship burst out of hyperspace in a blinding flash, and straight into a mess. An Earth Federation patrol ship hovered in orbit over Lyra like a metal hawk. 2 drones flanked it, weapons glowing. The planet, her planet, was right there beneath them. So close. So impossible. "Any chance we can cloak?" she asked, voice tight. Cal checked the panel. "If we do, we lose shields. We'll be flying blind." "I thought you liked flying blind," she muttered. "I like living more." "Then buckle in." Kari hit the manual override and plunged the ship straight toward the planet's atmosphere. The patrol drones noticed instantly. A warning signal filled the cockpit. "Unregistered vessel. This is Earth Federation Patrol. You are in violation of Galactic Biosecurity Act. Cut engines and prepare to be boarded." Kari ignored it. Cal didn't. "They'll destroy us." "They'll try." He gave her a sideways glance. "You really are learning." Missiles screamed past them. One clipped the wing just enough to rock the ship hard and kill half the sensors. The garden room caught fire, a small one, but Kari's precious plants burned fast. "Sorry about the fruit trees," Cal said. "Save your breath. I'm busy trying not to kill us both." They dived into the upper atmosphere. Flames licked the ship's hull. The sky went from black to blue to gold. Then they were through, flying over Lyra, her home. Kari's breath caught in her throat. It was still beautiful, still glowing, still alive. "Set us down outside the city," she told Cal. "Near the hill. There's a safe house there." He didn't ask how she knew that. He just flew. The moment the ship touched down, Kari jumped out and ran, through the green grass, over the silver stones, toward a small dome built into the hillside. She knocked. Once, twice, 3 times fast. The door hissed open. Doma stood there, her face pale. "You're alive." Doma breathed, barely. Kari said, "Where's Lear?" "This way." She saw him. So small, so quiet. His little chest rising slow, like a whisper. Blue skin to pale, fingers twitching in his sleep. Kari fell to her knees beside him. I'm here, she whispered. I've got it. You're going to be okay. She pulled out the capsule, the cure. Human nanites, illegal, unstable, but powerful. The moment she touched it to his skin, it activated. Lights flickered across his body. A low hum echoed in the room, and just like that, his breathing changed, stronger, deeper, alive. Kari sobbed into her hands. Cal stood in the doorway, silent. She turned to him, eyes wet. You saved him. No, he said softly. You did. But the moment of peace didn't last. Not 5 minutes. Later, alarms. Doma's eyes went wide. Federation dropship approaching. They followed you. Kari ran to the entrance. Cal was already checking the scanners. One ship, heavily armed, standard boarding team. They're not here to talk. They're here for the cure, Kari said. No, Cal said grimly. They're here for me. They didn't have long. Cal started prepping the ship for launch. You should stay, he told her. They won't take you. You're not wanted. You have your child. This is over for you. Kari grabbed his arm. I'm not letting you leave alone. If they catch me, I'll spend the rest of my life in a black cell. Then we don't let them catch you. He gave her a long, steady look. I was alone when I made this choice, Kari. You don't have to follow me into it. But I'm not alone anymore, she said. They formed a plan, risky, terrible plan. They would fake Cal's death. Use a decoy signal to draw the patrol away. Meanwhile, Kari would hide the ship deep in the forest cliffs. Use her old rebel contacts to smuggle Cal off planet using a forged identity. It had a 19% chance of success. I've survived worse odds. Cal said. Don't say that, Kari muttered. That's what people say before they die in the movies. Kari planted the beacon inside the garden room, the last surviving plant glowing faintly. Cal stayed behind with Lear, holding the boy's small hand while he slept. When he wakes up, Cal said, tell him about his mother. You'll be here to do it yourself, she replied. He smiled. Just barely, let's hope so. They launched the ship just as the patrol dropship entered Lyra's orbit. The beacon signal mimicked their flight path. The patrol ship chased it exactly as planned. Kari and Cal hid in the cliffs. The cave was narrow and cold. The combs were dark. We've got 12 hours before they realize it was a trick, she whispered. And then? We run in the darkness. They sat together, backs against the stone wall. Silence between them, until Cal broke it. Why didn't you take the capsule and leave me? I thought about it, she said honestly. But I couldn't leave the only person who looked at me like I mattered. He looked at her, eyes soft. I still do. Kari didn't speak. She leaned her head against his shoulder. For the first time, she let herself believe she might be more than just a mother, more than a survivor. Maybe, just maybe, she could be loved. 12 hours passed. Too fast. The patrol returned. They were scanning, searching. Kari held Cal's hand. We'll find another ship. Another way, she said. We always do. And then a voice on the coms. Kari, Cal, do not move. This is Federation Command. We know where you are. They froze. The cum crackled again. But we're not here to arrest you. Kari frowned. What? Another voice. Familiar. Doma made a deal, she said. I gave them the capsule tech. Not the actual nanites, just the data. In return, they wiped Cal's record. Why would they agree to that? Kari asked. Because the Federation doesn't want to chase ghosts forever. They want the cure. And you gave them results. They'll spin it as a covert operation success. Political win. Quiet ending. Cal blinked. I'm free? Technically, Doma said. But if you break the law again, they won't be so kind. Silence. Then Kari said. Then let's stay quiet. They left the cave together, holding hands. No chains. No more running. Just stars. And the strange kindness that started it all. Fire and flight peace was a strange thing. Kari didn't trust it. It had been 3 days since the Federation left Lyra. Cal's record had been cleared. The cure had worked. Lear was laughing again. But Kari couldn't sleep. She kept waking in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, staring at the stars outside like they might come crashing through the walls. Cal noticed. He always noticed. "You think it's not over," he said gently. Kari nodded. "Because it's not." He didn't argue. He just held her hand. They stayed on Lyra, helping rebuild. Cal worked in the medical gardens, replanting what was lost during the fire. The kids liked him. The elders didn't trust him, but no one could deny he was trying. Kari spent every waking moment with Lyra, telling stories, singing songs, making up for time lost, but her communicator buzzed constantly, whispers from her old rebel network, Federation ships seen near neutral zones, civilians disappearing, black site rumors, and then, one message chilled her bones. The Federation didn't want the cure. They wanted to know who could survive it. Kari confronted Cal. "Did you ever test the nanites on anyone else?" "No, are you sure?" He looked hurt. "I wouldn't lie to you, no," she whispered. "But I think someone else did." Later that night, Kari hacked into the transmission logs. What she found made her blood run cold. The deal Doma made? It wasn't just data. She'd given them a list. Refugees. Survivors. People Cal had helped over the years. Kari's name was on it. So was Lear's. They were tracking them. All of them. The next morning, the sky caught fire. A black ship descended over Lyra like a silent god. Not Federation. Something else. No markings. No broadcast ID. No warning. Just a pulse. A deep, echoing thrum that rattled bones and made the air feel heavy. Cal ran to Kari. "Get Lear. Get to the ship." Kari didn't ask questions. She ran. The black ship unleashed drones, silver things, with needle arms and glass eyes. They moved like insects, buzzed like whispers, and they were fast. Villagers screamed. Power went out. Lights died. Communications vanished. Kari grabbed Lear and sprinted for the hills. Cal was behind them, carrying a pack of supplies. A drone shot past them, scanning. Kari ducked into the old cave. "What's happening?" she asked. Cal didn't look at her. Instead, he opened his pack and pulled out a weapon. Not just any weapon. A plasma launcher. Military grade. Earth Federation tech. Kari's eyes narrowed. "You said you didn't carry weapons." "I lied," he said. "Just that one time." The ship roared overhead. A beam of blue light struck the village square and erased it. No explosion. Just silence and ash. Kari turned away, shielding Lear's eyes. "What do they want?" she asked, breath shaking. Cal checked the scanner. "They're not Federation, but they've got Federation clearance codes. That means Black Ops. They want the survivors," Kari said. "They want to know what the nanites did to us." She looked at Lear, then at Cal. "We can't let them take him." Cal nodded once. "Then we don't run." They fought, side by side. Kari had trained with rebels before, but never like this. Cal moved like a ghost. Efficient, quiet, precise. He took out 2 drones with 1 shot, then passed her a pulse grenade. Kari lobbed it into a cluster of them and watched them fry mid-air. Lear hid deep in the cave, under a stealth shield. They bought time, but not much. The black ship began lowering, not to land. To collect. Kari's eyes widened. "They're going to take the soil, the air, the people, everything exposed to the nanites. They're harvesting," Cal said. "Like lab rats." Kari felt fire rise in her chest. No, she ran to the ship. Their ship, the old, broken one they had escaped in. It was half buried now in dirt and vines, but still intact. She powered it up. It coughed, groaned, came alive. "Plan?" Cal asked, climbing in beside her. She stared ahead. "Get Lear out. Blow the black ship to hell." Cal hesitated. "You fly. I'll be the distraction." "Oh," she said firmly. "We do this together, or not at all." They activated the stealth core, lifted off in silence. The black ship noticed. Too late. Kari flew straight at its underbelly. The scanner screamed. Cal locked onto the engine core. "Pulse launcher won't break that armor," he said. Then we hit something softer. Kari dropped the ship low, sliding along the side of the black cruiser like a bird brushing water. There, Cal pointed. Cargo bay. Unshielded. She rolled the ship. Cal fired. The missile hit. Boom. The black ship wobbled, but didn't fall. Kari bit her lip. One more pass. They swung around again. This time, drones swarmed them mid-air. Hold the controls, Cal said. What? I've got to go outside. You'll die. I'll live long enough. Before she could stop him, he climbed into the airlock, opened the hatch, and fired straight into the drone swarm manually. The sky exploded, but so did the launcher. Smoke. Sparks. A scream in her earpiece. Kari pulled the ship up. Flames burst behind them. The black ship groaned, cracked, and fell into the forest, into the soil, into fire. Kari landed hard near the cave, ran to the airlock. Cal was there, burned, bloody, breathing, barely. You idiot, she whispered. He smiled weakly. Told you I lied once. She knelt beside him, held him. Tears rolled down her face. I can't lose you too. You won't. And he handed her a second capsule. The last one. The nanites can heal, but it might kill you, she said. I'd rather die with you than live alone again. She kissed him, soft, then injected the capsule. Hours passed. He didn't wake. Kari sat beside him. Lear curled up beside her. The fire had gone. The sky was quiet, and just as the stars began to rise, Cal's eyes fluttered open. He smiled. Still alive? Kari laughed through her tears. Unfortunately. Good. They had survived fire, fought black ships, and found each other. But the galaxy wasn't done with them. Not yet. Home, and something more. Cal healed slowly, like in stories. Not with magic or instant glowing miracles. The nanites worked, yes, but pain remained. Burns, scars, a new tremble in his left hand. But he was alive, and that was more than Kari had dared to hope. The black ship had burned. Federation cleanup crews arrived 5 days later. Official story. Rogue pirates. Unofficial truth. Silenced. They didn't ask questions about Cal. They didn't question Lear's survival. They didn't report the second nanite capsule. But Kari saw the way one officer looked at her. Not like a mother, like a test subject. She didn't trust the silence. Weeks passed. Kari tried to live normally. She cooked again. She walked with Lear through the green hills of Lyra. She watched stars fall at night and whispered wishes she didn't fully believe in. Cal helped rebuild the village, one burnt wall at a time. He taught the children how to repair broken scanners. Sometimes, they laughed. But always, they waited for the sound of engines overhead, for footsteps in the dark, for the price of survival to finally arrive. It did. One night, while Lear slept and the wind was soft, Kari sat on the hill with Cal. He held a broken metal flower, one of the ship's old decor pieces. Do you ever think about leaving again? She asked. Cal looked at the stars. Every day. Kari nodded. Me too. A transmission arrived the next morning. Hidden frequency. No signature. No greeting. Just a voice. A woman's. Kari, we know what you carry. The nanites. The boy. The man. They belong to us now. Give them up, or we take them. Then the signal ended. No location. No countdown. Just threat. Kari stood frozen. She looked at Cal. He didn't speak. He just walked to the ship, began checking the engines. An hour later, they stood at the edge of the ship's ramp, wind whipping through their clothes. Lear stood between them. He looked older now, not in years. In spirit. What happens now? He asked. Kari knelt down. You choose, my heart. Lear frowned. I'm just a kid. No, Cal said gently. You're someone they fear, and that makes you powerful. Lear looked between them, then said quietly, I want to go where we're needed. Kari blinked. You don't want to stay? I want to help others, like he helped us. He pointed at Cal, then took Kari's hand. You saved me, Mama. Let me save someone too. They left that night. No goodbyes. Just silence. They didn't know where the transmission came from. They followed rumors. Federation shadows. Pirate whispers. Underground networks. Smugglers. Ghosts. And soon, pattern appeared. People were disappearing, just rebels. Not just refugees. Children. With rare immunities. Survivors of experimental tech. Carriers of modified biology. The next generation of test subjects. And it wasn't just the Federation. Something darker was hunting them. Kari and Cal became ghosts themselves. Ship registered under no name. Cloaked jumps. Forged beacons. Code switchers. And biometric fog. They helped those they could. Saved who they could. Fought when they had to. And they became a legend. The woman with silver eyes. The human who ran from Earth. The boy who could not die. People whispered stories in low-lit bars and starship docks. Some believed. Some laughed. All remembered. But it was never easy. Kari had to fight to stay soft. To be a mother in a galaxy that tried to weaponize her son's DNA. Cal had to battle his ghosts every time he looked in the mirror and saw the scar the nanites couldn't heal. And Lear, he grew. Wiser, quieter, sharper. He began to ask questions no child should ask. Would I still be loved if I wasn't useful? That question broke Kari. One day, deep in a lost quadrant, their ship was boarded. Not by pirates. Not by the Federation. By her. The woman from the transmission. She wore no uniform. Her face was pale, smooth, perfect. Her voice was the same low and calm like a knife made of silk. You've run far, she said. But everyone stops eventually. Kari stood in front of Lear. Cal stood beside her. The woman smiled. Give him to us, and I let you both live. Kari didn't blink. She didn't flinch. She just said, no. A fight followed. Not like before. Faster. Deadlier. Personal. Kari and Cal fought like they'd been training for this moment their whole lives. Because they had. The woman bled silver. Nanite queen. Bio-enhanced. Part human, part machine, part monster. But she made one mistake. She underestimated Lear. He hacked her signal from the background. While she fought his parents, he rerouted her neural core, sent her virus after virus, then wiped her mind clean in 10 seconds. She collapsed like a puppet with cut strings. Silence. Cal stared at Lear. Where did you learn to do that? Lear shrugged. Online. They left the body behind, sent it drifting into a black star. Kari stood on the deck, watching it vanish. She turned to Kel. Do you think she was the last? No, he said. But I think she was the start of something worse. And us? He looked at her. We're the start of something better. They didn't go home. Not really. Home was gone. But wherever they flew, whoever they saved, whatever they built, that was home. And in the quiet moments, when the stars were kind, Kari would lie beside Cal, near safe and asleep nearby, and whisper, I sold myself to save my child, but the human who bought me gave me back my life.